Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience. Hello and welcome to AOL Movie Phone, presented by Flyover State of Film, episode 25. And as usual, we have our hosts, Brian, Joe, Youssef, and TJ. Woo! Everyone cracked those drinks. Woo! Ooh. How's everyone feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm alive.
So good.
You know what? Not great.
What's up?
Not great.
You all right?
I see everyone posting about this event, and I just wanted. I reached out, didn't get an invite. Honestly, you have Nick Cage opening up this Waffle House, and you guys send fucking Tom and Ryan, and that's ridiculous. Who are they? Who are they? Point. I've been fucking covering Nick Cage for 5 fucking years, being a fan.
That's a good point.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
But I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it though, right? We're going to talk about the Nick Cage Waffle House.
Those fucking idiots are over there, and I'm not covering their fucking event. We were going to do a flyby. We were going to do a flyover state flyby on this event. I wanted to eat those pancakes. I wanted to sit down and talk to Nick Cage about his newest DVD release. But no, now I got to fucking watch everyone on Twitter post about it. This is ridiculous.
I mean, we're still going to do the flyby.
No.
That's We sent Duncan Zed out. They got some amazing footage. They got some really good. They talked to a lot of people. They got Nick. They got the Everyman. We're not gonna not use that. That's what the show is. That's
no. I'm a fucking producer on the show. I'm saying we're not doing this.
No. I'm the producer of the show. You are the talent. I do.
No. Ask fucking you when I restructure my contract.
No. This isn't the Joe show. This isn't. No one would carry that. Remember, Toad Hop didn't want you.
That's a good point.
This is flyover now.
No.
This is my job to anchor this show. Ryan and Tom did an awesome job, and we are going to use that footage content for flyover film as it is your contract.
I've not slaved over every mediocre Nick Cage release. Yeah, I've been called a fucking shill. Maybe I am. I'll use my own money to go to that goddamn Waffle House, but I'm not going to see Nick Cage there.
That's a good point.
Whether you do or not makes no never mind. As a professional, you're going to do your job, the one that we pay at you here to do at Flyover. That's what you do. You cover these events.
You told this shit the other day. You come in here in my fucking office and tell me on air when we had John Travolta in talking about his reminiscent of the fucking 25th anniversary of Face Off, and then you got a fucking problem, and we were so goddamn unprofessional.
Hey, I don't care who's in the room. If you would have been doing your job, I wouldn't have to come embarrass you in front of John Travolta. That's not my fault. That's not my problem. There's a reason that you're not exec producer anymore, that you're not content creator anymore. I took that job because somebody needed to get the reins in.
I'm not going to. I'm
chill, Joe. Chill.
No, man. No.
Chill, bro.
I bust my fucking ass for this company and for everyone else. And
that's a good point.
You guys don't invite me. I don't get a fucking invite from Waffle House Incorporated.
We had
our contact doesn't have the entity, and I get that, and they might have done fine coverage, but who are they? I know what I'm doing here.
If you want to talk about this more off air, if you have a grievance, you'd like to take it up with the company, but our official policy is the flyby of the Nick Cage themed and that he went to waffle themed opening will be covered by Flyover.
Are you going to let me take this on air, my co-hosts? You just fucking sitting there?
Well,
this douche in a fucking flat brimmed hat is yelling at me.
Well, I mean, we could put like a pink bow tie over it and say, I think both of you guys have valid points. I agree. I agree with both of you. I mean, I'm never going to take a stand on anything. And
I'm that freelancer Tom to cover Cage. He doesn't even know to ask him about fucking Wild at Heart. He's just going to be like, hey, so National Treasure.
Yo,
that's fucking ridiculous.
Can I say something, Joe? I'm just saying, from my point of view, for me, I feel like you're being a little unprofessional. Because I feel like your job...
Unprofessionals, you busted in here when we have people in studio. You know what?
That's a good point. I think TJ made a good point. Joe made
I
a good
handle
point,
business.
And Brian
business
is about to make handled. A good point.
I don't worry about who I might offend. All right. That's my job. Yeah, I do my job.
Joe, as someone who is on the show and listens to the show, I feel like we should cover it because that's what the fans want. You know what I mean, Joe?
I think Brian may have gone a tad too far, but I agree with him 100%.
We're Flyover State of Film Live. I've been invited to Nick Cage opening up a goddamn Wendy's, him opening up a Denny's, him opening up a Burger King, anything with the E's at the end of it.
Well, it seems like you've had plenty of access there, Joe. Yeah, do you think maybe we would like some representation on the channel? Maybe somebody a little different, maybe some new voices. Maybe we would get some, you know what I mean? And then you would oversee that. Your job would be curate their content and would use your expertise on it. But what did you do? You came on here like a damn crybaby. Now we got look, the comment section's lighting up right now.
Listen, I started drinking LaCroix before anyone else. So you tell me, crybaby, all right?
Are we ready to move on? What's the next topic?
Joe,
are we ready to do news yet?
Joe,
are we done?
So Nick Cage is going to be Superman. How do you guys feel about Robert Pattinson being Batman?
That's awesome.
Great.
That's a segue like a goddamn professional there.
You know what's professional? You
take a lesson, up on time. Joe. Take a note. Joe.
You know what, Brian? Why don't you take a fucking invite for once? The first try.
I got my invite. I'll be there. I'll be at that Waffle House.
So Batman, best cast
we do this all the time, by the way. We do this all the time.
This is just how we do. This is just how we do. Don't worry about that, guys. No need to gif. Hey, no need to gif any of that. Don't gif that. Nothing. Nah.
Jeez, no need. You know what?
Now, as we save the Waffle House, let's save the show. Yusuf, take it off, baby.
Well, a part of the news, first, Robert Pattinson is going to kill it as Batman. That's cool.
Does anybody have anything to say about that? He sounds awesome, right?
No, it's good casting.
Cool. Okay, good.
I just hope they don't bog down with an origin story. That's the one thing I hope with the storytelling we do.
If pearls don't hit the street, it's not a fucking Batman movie.
Think of the prop master, Joe. The prop guy needs to make a pearl.
That pro budget has been really run thin between 8 movies.
What was the last movie that did it was around the barrel of the gun?
BVS.
That was BVS. Yeah. Okay, look, we've talked about it. That, God help me. I'm sorry I brought it up.
All right. So I guess I wanted to talk about this crazy wave that we've been seeing recently, especially on YouTube, on Twitter, and change.fucking.org with all the petitions that fans have started regarding saving the shows that have been canceled. And Brian got into a little tidbit today with one of the recent ones that just got canceled, which is DC Swamp Thing. AP Bio was canceled, and the list goes on and on. So what do you guys think about this? The fans asking for the shows not to be canceled.
Just let me say, I think a lot of my stuff comes from just that, I came from an era that when a show got canceled, it was just done. It was just over, and you didn't really have a chance. And it's not that I don't want these people to get the thing they want. I'm just too cynical and nihilistic. I'm like, you're wasting your time. The die is cast. I know there have been a few exceptions, but throwing those 3 shows in my face every time we talk about this doesn't change the fact that 70-80% of shows are done in 2 seasons or 3. You know what I mean? It's just a thing that happens, and every show that gets canceled makes room for a new show. I don't know.
I think no one also brings up when they talk about that, the saving. that really only exist for these shows that in recent that are network shows.
Yeah.
Not these streaming services.
Yeah.
So like something like the Save AP Bio, like I kind of maybe saw that potentially could have happened just because Brooklyn Nine-Nine getting picked up by NBC.
But Brooklyn Nine-Nine also had 5 seasons.
Yeah, it had
AP Bio had 2. You know what I mean? There's not enough.
Right.
There's barely enough fan base to keep it going. Also, can I just say, for as many ones that got saved that we were happy about, there's always an Arrested Development to be like, it would have been great to just leave that at 3 seasons.
Oh God! If only I could get in a time machine and go back and say, you don't want this.
Right. Tell them I warned myself.
Yeah.
Scrubs.
Also, maybe eat a salad.
Is another
I actually got into a fight about Scrubs is going. I got into a fight a couple weeks ago with the Twitter friend about Community. I was like, they should have left it alone. They had a last season on Yahoo with a slash budget, and it was not good.
Yeah, I think Dan Hammer wasn't in it, right? He didn't. Right.
Oh, a few. I think it was Donald Glover. Definitely wasn't in it. Obviously Chevy Chase. And I want to say one or more of the cast members didn't show up also. It was
I think it's fucking crazy that I actually tweeted about this I think a couple days ago. Last year alone there were 495 shows on air. New shows.
Oh my God.
Not counting
with streaming it's crazy. There's
so obviously
never even
obviously shit is gonna get canceled.
It's like
Swamp Thing, this was a really weird situation where it ended up being a money thing that they had been promised by the state that didn't come through, so it didn't cover their budget.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a different situation than anything else. But also, that was one where it was the hype. Apparently it came out because I didn't even know it was out. And then I heard next thing I heard it was canceled. And it was just
came out yesterday.
I saw a Twitter favorite Twitter favorite of ours tweet out a really good point about this with the Swamp Thing and like that. It was Monday. I don't know if he was referring to Swamp Thing being like, hey, all these streaming services are going to put out a season of a show to get you to join. And then it may not get picked up. I mean, it happens a lot. It happens, I feel more than we notice. And then I look and I'm surprised at the joke we've been making about Lucifer has 5 seasons.
Not only that.
Oh, the fucking ranch.
That's another one that had 3 seasons on regular network TV and then got picked up by Netflix to finish out its run.
Oh, I did not know that.
A more established show, and it's weird because those kind of shows like Supernatural got kept on the air because fans just, sometimes there's a niche show, but it's just more, it's way more rare than it is. And it's not that I'm hating on them. I get it. There's been so many shows that have been canceled that I wanted to come back that are gone forever. I understand it, but also it loses its potency when you literally do it for every single show that gets canceled. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't start a petition and a Twitter and a hashtag when what are you going to do when 3 shows get canceled on the same day? You know?
Well, the usual thing that happens with these shows is that they get canceled, or they run a season, run 2 seasons, run 3 seasons, get canceled, and then they end up getting in syndication somewhere. So they do make money at some point.
On the other end, I mean, it's really weird. It was. Do you remember a couple weeks ago when Fresh Off the Boat got renewed?
Oh yeah, and Constance Wu was kind of eh.
I loved that show, and that literally was a show where they all thought it was going to end. I mean, the last episode ended with a nice callback.
They had what they would call a finale, kind of just in case.
Sitcom, it's and okay.
It would have worked as finale enough.
It did make that whole thing did make me look in a negative light a bit of Constance Wu because she really did handle that as poor as you possibly can by.
I mean, yeah,
commenting dislike on the show's renewal and this and that and whatever, and it's a great show, but. I also think I guess these show that's a rare example where a show thought it was being canceled. It basically should have been, it was a Friday night slot, and it got renewed.
Yeah,
but yeah, I that made me that was nasty. That was nasty.
Well, time with these shows getting canceled and the usual characters getting played again by different people all the time. Let's get back into character tropes. Brian, what do you got for us this week?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked on this show a lot about, we like to talk about cliches and movie tropes, everybody does, but I was thinking specifically about movie characters, and not just cliches, but cliches that have kind of like widely been regarded as kind of in poor taste for a while, but somehow still keep popping up. And the ones that jumped out at me most recently that made me think of this was I was thinking about the new Predator, The Predator, and how like they had a whole slew of like they hit all. Not only did they were insensitive to people with mental illness, they were insensitive to people with like veterans who have experienced PTSD. They were hitting like on multiple levels. But I was thinking about the crazy vet and how that's kind of still a thing, even though we're starting. I feel like more progressive about not only mental illness, but specifically because as a country we're very like sympathetic and we want to like help vets and like vets. And like that's a real sticking point for Americans is like, respect the vets and all that. So like as an inroad to talking about mental illness, but like still the trope of the crazy veteran who's like shell shocked in a very cliche kind of way and can snap in a minute. Even in movies about that where it's like where it should be it's trying to be sensitive, it's actually doing a bad job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think now it's instead of being like The Burbs where he's like, oh, this is a cookie guy. Now it's like, oh, this dude is just gonna kill everybody because he went to war. And you're like, oh, dude, this is not how we want to talk about this mental illness at all.
Well, like Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was the one that jumped out at me.
The Punisher.
And I didn't know if you guys had any other ones that like would fall into that category of those type of characters that you still see.
I would say like the quirky, like Middle Eastern.
You're so racist.
I don't know, like character, like psychiatrist, like just commentary, and like you're like Pintar from Deadpool would be the most recent example for me, where like they kind of funny.
Aziz Ansari.
What? Yeah, they kind of. Well, Aziz actually like makes a point to not do those roles, but the Pooh roles.
No, what I'm saying, like they're trying to be the funny middle. Like Hollywood seems to be like, oh, they like Aziz Ansari, they like Kumar. Let me just cast people that look like them.
Right, cast the young Middle Eastern guy and be a little bit nerdy and
The worst offender is there's this really, I probably talked about it on here at some point. There's this really terrible movie called Little Italy with Emma Roberts and Hayden Christensen. There's a great How to Get Made about it. Little Italy, Canada. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. But in the pizza shop, this is like 2018 movie, regardless how shitty the movie is. Each rival pizza shop, it's about rival pizza shops, has a Indian girl and Indian guy working in them, and they're the most stereotypical, like racist things, and they also just end up making out at the end because, of course, they have to fall in love.
Like Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
right. I think a whole side story. You don't know.
Yeah, I think mine. Hopefully, they do like a sequel, but from their point of view. I think mine and the one that I see a lot still, and it always just makes me laugh, is the stern boss lady that cannot keep a relationship or any type of friendship.
Career focused.
Yeah, she's just. She doesn't have work-life balance because she has to work double demand to be in the man role.
She's trying to have it all, but she can't.
Although I like, the Proposal's a good one. Although I like that both these movies, like the Set It Up Netflix one was like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lucy Liu. That's pretty recent.
That was a whole plot.
Devil Wears Prada.
Knocked Up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
because they never.
The Ugly Truth.
That's a great one. Because they never like put it in as like, oh, like they could just find a guy who supports a career-driven woman.
Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky.
I mean, she's kind of like she's upscale. The guy's very down. He lives in home. Yeah,
he definitely gaslights her for sure.
Yeah,
Brian
literally puts her in a stove.
Brian went balls deep on Chucky today.
I just want to drive to Chicago.
In all other instances, I'm like, whatever, a reboot, blah blah blah. But no, you don't do that to Don Mancini.
I got another
Don
one.
Mancini is the only. Wait,
we're on a I was gonna say, on top of Chucky, and what they do in the trailer is my thing is how they take movie bullies And at some point in the film, give him the overarch where they become the good guy or like the buddy to the protagonist of the film. You're just like, no, bullies don't have that at some point. They don't get a redeeming factor. They should, at some point, if you're going to write a bully full on. Like, go hardcore with it, make the bully, and make the protagonist get the whatever he needs to do over the bully to have his arc completed. But
I would say really recently we saw this in, well, nobody saw it, but me and Yusuf did in The Kid Who Would Be King. He, has not one but two bullies. Yeah. Two bullies he gets on his with team. Him? It is a very good movie, but that cliche is ever present in that.
Well, for my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, Little Monsters. The kid that eventually grows up to be Buzz as a young child joins up with Fred Savage and fights the monsters with him. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, it shouldn't happen. That guy was.
That's
would you like consider? What about the Bash brothers from Mighty Ducks? They kind of do it twice. In the first movie, they do it with Eldon, and then in the second movie, they do it with the Bash brothers.
They do that twice. That's a good one.
But that's kind of like an offshoot of the douche with the heart of gold. Like, he's been an asshole the entire movie.
Yeah.
And then you learn that he's just a wounded hero that needed love.
Right. He's just been hurt too many times, or he's had a tough life.
Like something's
or he's a veteran. He's a vet. He's been through war.
Would Steve from Stranger Things be that too? Then
yeah.
And then I wonder if they go that way with the newer bully that they did.
He sucks.
Dacre Montgomery.
I'm not looking forward to it.
They made that dude a straight up psychopath. They went hard in the paint with that bully character.
Yeah,
like straight out of a Stephen King movie. Like, that guy is never to be redeemed until he becomes the Red Ranger again.
Now here's a question: would you let that guy lead your Space Force?
No, I got another one. The hot girl next door that is super nice to the geeky kid. Like, she's the only one that is super nice to that geeky kid. It literally just happened in the
I got a couple more too. I mean, obviously, gay best friend, the gay best friend of the girl. Who's like, we just need to chill out and have some popcorn, girl. And then the workaholic dad, especially as a dad, I resent that one of like, oh yeah, fuck him, right? Because he put a roof over your head and he put food in your belly.
Wait. And, you didn't have that moment in Little Giants where they run the play and the guy sees his dad coming to him.
The worst offender of working dad is fucking Jingle All the Way.
Oh yeah,
because it's like
I thought you were gonna say Hook's a pretty bad one too.
Hey Joe, we don't need to talk about it again because we already did the drink along with Jingle All the Way. We've already talked about enough Jingle. Okay.
Yeah. Also, another one with that is Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin's.
Very successful watch-alongs. If you've ever seen them, guys, check them out.
Yeah, you should check out the.
They're dropping very, very soon. I swear.
So, what's the next subject?
Well, speaking of subjects, guys,
flawless segues. Is that what we're going to talk about?
What subject would you want to lead your Space Force? Yusuf, take it away.
So this fucking thing won't go away. They keep bringing up the fucking Space Force, and at first it was like a funny joke, and then Steve Carell is gonna do a series on it, and the other day, fucking Ted Cruz, Zodiac killer, says he supports the fucking Space Force. So how about we just make? And also Brad Pitt has a new space movie coming out this year, which looks awesome. So, and with that in mind, I wanted to ask you guys.
Brad Pitt.
What's the space movie coming out? I didn't hear that.
Ad Astra.
Ad Astra, yeah.
Oh,
okay. It looks sick.
It does.
So with that in mind, like, I wanted you guys to pick, if you had to pick the leader for this Space Force, who's going to protect the United States and Earth.
Can I piggyback off this for you?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, this segment has been fucked from the beginning. So.
I want to do, if we can, I want to do your captain, and then your co-captain. So everyone has your guy, Everyone does their main guy, and then everyone does the co-captain afterwards. After everyone does their main guy.
Okay. Yeah. So with that in mind, I'm gonna pick first, and fuck you all. My leader is gonna be Sam Bell, as portrayed by Sam Rockwell from 2009's Moon. He's a fucking clone, so if he dies, there's another one in the freezer ready to go, so we can always keep them shucking along. You know that he doesn't need a crew. He's gonna keep that station running.
He's got Kevin Spacey there to keep him company.
That could be the perfect jail time for him. Like, just ban him to the moon.
Actually, it's not. It's no longer a robot. It's literally Kevin Spacey in a box that just gets pushed around the base, and he has to reach out and help do things.
He just has one
withered arm comes up out of the box. Like, here
he has one hole, but
and then Sam Rockwell hits him with a ruler because he's a dick.
So that's my captain. He's funny. He can keep himself entertained, and he has disposable replacements for him. So we don't have to worry about secession, where the administration is always going to run the same with him. Space Force dictatorship clone.
That's good.
Whoever wants to take it next.
I got this.
Oh boy,
I'm going with that Army Ranger. That good boy, that deep Southern boy, Cameron Poe. He is loyal.
He's not an astronaut.
Yeah, he's not.
He's a deputy ranger, baby. He was in the sky.
He was in the astronaut because I'm in trouble. I don't have an astronaut.
I got an astronaut.
Said space astronaut, motherfucker.
You didn't phrase the question.
Well, I think they could learn the astronaut part.
All right, that's great.
Are we doing Armageddon now?
Well, that's great. Time out, because his co-captain would be...
No. Pick your captain.
Pick your co-captain.
My captain is Cameron Poe, who is a leader. He is a man among men. And he will get the job done. He will run that tight.
But he has to get to his daughter's birthday.
His co-captain is going to be AJ Frost, a.k.a. Ben Affleck in Armageddon.
You can't say your co-captain yet.
He burned off his co-captain already, guys.
I didn't know that was the plan. But guess Cameron Poe is never going to leave a man behind. He's going to make sure that Space Force is run fucking tight.
This segment. Let's keep this segment running so smoothly.
Or unless you want to go with my astronaut choice, which is
Brian
from Space Chimps.
Brian, what's up? Yes. What's your choice?
So you need somebody, if you're going into space, you need somebody with a cool head who's been in some tough situations.
Yeah.
You need somebody who has maybe the mind of a philosopher, and you need somebody who knows the number one rule, and that is to be nice. And that is why you take Dalton from Roadhouse as a captain your ship out into space.
I can't believe you didn't go with Sigourney Weaver. I was like, he's going to pick aliens for sure.
Such a cliche that everything I say has
you're a cliche, man.
Well, you could actually find Roadhouse on the DVD
would have made
bunker.
A great first co-captain, but she's not my pick for co-captain, but she would have been a good one. If they'd have listened to her and Alien, none of this shit would have happened.
I know, that's why.
On the ship. It's bullshit.
All right. Well, so you're sending Dalton. Anyway, you're sending Dalton to be the bouncer.
Well, but I also think of him as an ambassador of Earth. He's a philosophy major. He's got a brilliant mind. But he can handle himself if shit goes down.
What do you think the Space Force is going to do? We're just going to shoot shit down.
Tentacles all tucked into his cowboy boots, and he's ready to fuck him up. Oh, hey, look at that. A little callback.
Ooh. Well, I followed Yusef. I followed Yusef. I actually picked a person who was in space at some point. And I'm talking about 2176, a movie that probably not a lot of people saw, but this character, Desolation Williams, was great in. Ice Cube, Ghost of Mars.
Wait, that's a great pick.
John Carpenter's Ghosts of
If I want anybody.
You had so many options, Brian. This is a good pick. Shut your fucking mouth.
If I had one person to watch my back,
Orlando Jones.
He has the Stone Cold Stare. He takes down any type of mutant on top of Mars, regardless of what they look like. He's got the quips. He's got the right hand.
TJ fucked up because if you take anybody from the cast of Ghosts of Mars, you take Pam Grier.
I mean, but I didn't. I went with Ice Cube. Also, I need a co-captain. So
Ice Cube's still working.
Who's your co-captain?
Okay.
What?
You have a co-captain?
Oh yeah, this thing is gonna fail horribly. Everything's gonna go to shit. Everything's gonna be destroyed, and I want somebody to survive and come back and tell us what the fuck happened. So that's why I picked Dr. Ryan Stone, as portrayed by Sandra Bullock from Gravity. So when everything just gets blown the fuck up in space, she can come back and say, "Hey, Sam Rockwell was not a good choice. Sorry."
Also, she can be like, "Hey, I beautiful-minded George Clooney here. He's with me too."
So that's my co-captain. Joe, do you want to pick a third chair?
I'll pick a new co-captain, and that is.
I don't even remember who your first co-captain was.
Yeah, who was
it? Ben Affleck, wasn't it?
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Harry, no.
Hold on.
Wait,
well, he would
Ben Affleck...
but I have a better pick.
Wait.
He's a scientist.
Wait.
He's looking at IMDb. Give him a minute.
Is Ben Affleck gonna eat animal crackers of Cameron Poe?
Yes.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yes. And also then do another scene where Cameron Poe gets down on his knees and talks to Ben Affleck's belly.
Oh, my baby girl.
My baby girl's in there.
I'm going to get home and tie her up.
Coming home to my ladies. Coming home forever.
I was born on July 14th.
That's why he's a back pick. He always wants to be with his little girl. Why do you send him to
July
space?
14th. All right, sorry.
Put the bunny.
My other co-captain.
Put the space bunny back in
my
the
other
space.
captain. So what's better than two Lindsay Lohans?
No, nothing.
Stanley Goodspeed, a scientist, working with two
Nick Cages. Oh,
yeah,
look
out! So Stanley Goodspeed, he's the brains. He's going to make sure things are going to run.
You're sending 3 Nick Cages and 1 Ben Affleck?
Yeah, it's recipe for success.
I feel like
2 Nick Cages is equal to 1 Ben Affleck. That's just math.
You're just really going into this first bit, huh, bud?
How are you, Brian? Brian, who are you sending with the bouncer?
Okay. I thought about this one. I thought about who do I think is the best right-hand man in cinema in the last 10 years. Who would I want in my co-pilot's chair? Who do I think would, have a clear head, be a good support system? And I picked Maurice, the orangutan from Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Not Dunstan?
No, not Dunstan. No, not Dunstan.
He's just going to be like...
You have to get him a special helmet because he has those big face plates, but he's so good and smart and calm and even-handed. He is the level in that whole franchise, and I think it's an underrated.
That's a great choice.
Performance by Karen, somebody who did the motion capture. She was great. But anyway, that is the character I would choose to have in my co-pilot seat.
Oh, it's so
Maurice, the ring thing.
Now mine.
Well, you're something with Ice Cube.
No. So my guy is going to be this guy is someone you want as a partner when things go down. Maybe an alien is coming from another planet, or an alien's already on your planet and underground. This guy is the guy you want with you. It's Fred Ward. It's Earl Bassett from Tremors. That's the co-pilot you want with you, especially if you're Ice Cube.
He's fucking hot.
He's the best. And also, he upstages Kevin Bacon a lot of times. In the movie we're about to talk about, guys, let's get right into it right now. TJ.
No, hold on. I just say
wait.
TJ's choices made me think of a movie with Pam Grier and Reba McEntire together.
We just fucked up.
That is the question I want.
All segues.
All I can think about when TJ was talking was Pam Grier, Reba McEntire, fucking buddy cop movie or something
Also, you know how Cameron Poe would get the job immediately.
You know what?
Space Force. He would be a Trump voter, and he would immediately get the shot.
That's true. Trump would probably put him in the Space Force. They do one of those awkward pictures of Cameron Poe shaking his hand in the Oval Office.
Yeah, like Kid Rock.
His hair all pulled into a man bun like Kid Rock.
No, he cut that thing clean as soon as he got home.
You know
he couldn't let little Casey Poe see him like that.
Let's start it again. Let's do the waffle bit, and so we
Brian, you fucking you
can do
those motherfuckers out.
We're off? Are we that off? I told you, CJ's fault. He pushed us back a week. How dare you have a family emergency?
So yeah, before that happened,
I care about my family.
Honestly,
talking about
TJ,
emergencies.
To break all of this, TJ's probably had the best segues out of 25 episodes of this show.
Yeah, he's
probably had the best segues. And then Brian's like, wait a minute, I have one more point.
Fuck you.
I'm playing the Joe role today. Today, that would be my job to like ignore segues and just continue talking about whatever I want.
So, of course, if of the 5 people who watch our show, we've had a week off. Something's happened.
Actually, I remembered the wise black person in movies who...
That's 2 segments ago. You can
right.
go back 2 segments.
Go ahead.
Honestly, just watch LaQuisha. It's on Amazon Prime. It's great.
Don't watch. You are gonna watch that shit right into a fucking sequel. They're gonna give Amazon next time. He sold that shit to Amazon for like $10. Next time, Amazon will give him money because how many fuckers like you watched it?
No, what's even worse about this is my LaQuisha bit. What's even worse are the fucking people that wrote articles about that movie that cost like 3 cents.
All right, so basically, last time we were supposed to record, I made these guys watch SWAT. I don't know how many of you guys watched SWAT. Raise your hands.
You ruined a really good bit.
You ruined a great bit, TJ. We're gonna tell you right now.
Ready for you, TJ.
Don't do it. We're
not going to spoil it because it's going to come back. But I just want to say we had something planned for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to follow that up.
Anyway, TJ made an audible, and now we're watching fucking Tremors. That's what we're getting at here.
I had a whole thing where I had this whole. I made these guys watch SWAT, then I switched it up on them, made them watch Tremors. So I finally picked a good movie, I believe.
You did.
No. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic. Like, I'm no pretense. I'm not going to pretend. I fucking love Tremors. I just watched Tremors. I've probably watched it within the last 6 months, and I still watched it again for the show.
It's no Urban Legends, but you picked a good movie.
Yeah, I finally fucking nailed it. Is it a Mars Attacks?
I don't. It
is a Mars Attacks.
I never would have thought by this point in the show, 25 episodes in, that I would have the worst average of all the people, even though I'm on the show with TJ. Like, how did I end up with the worst average of picks? It's fucking horrible.
Today you did pick Island Dr. Moreau. But
that was a great episode.
No, we did good stuff. That documentary kicks ass, though. It's worth it.
Lord of the Rings, so.
It was like episode 2 Guys, we're at 25 episodes.
Fucking get into Tremors. Fucking
Tremors. Tremors. Fred Ward, Kevin Bacon, classic film, Michael Gross. I know that these guys all have seen it before, but I figure we could revisit it. Let's pick it apart if you want. Start from the beginning. Basically, there's no telling how these graboids came out of nowhere.
Horrible name.
Is it New Mexico, I think?
This is a great idea for a monster, right?
Yeah.
Like, real cool, good idea. Like, solid concept here.
The creator said he was reading. He worked in the Navy and was working in the desert and just was thinking how crazy it would be if you had to keep leaving your post to go chase something underground.
Yeah,
a great idea.
It's also I'll say
absolutely. We've seen so many people come up with bad ideas for monsters. I think Tremors, despite where they went with all the sequels, this is definitely a good start, a good base. It's
a weird simplicity to it. You know what I mean? It's just like a worm, but then also at the same time it has that mouth with the different tentacles that have its own characters to it.
Well, I love the way they build. Like, at first you think it's just the weird tentacle snakes, you know what I mean? It's and then when the reveal of the full-sized monster is so cool.
And you also
how big was the budget for the pumpkin?
Okay.
For the what?
For the pumpkins. When they explode,
the pumpkin budget.
Yeah,
the pumpkin budget.
Yeah, how big was the budget?
They had to explode probably the biggest pumpkins out of Montana they've ever seen.
I'm getting to you.
Those puppets were just filled with some of those giant gourds that you see at the state fair.
Who did
That's how they were built. They used to use those gigantic gourds and put a big tarp over it.
And they were in the desert too. I
was going to say,
Greek.
I want to ask you guys before we get into the actual first. Has anyone watched the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or anything like that?
I think I watched like the second one back in the day, but it was bad, so I never went beyond that.
I was gonna say, Brian, if you ever get a chance, I would say rewatch it because it definitely has a Child's Play, like Curse of Chucky. Like it evolves over time, and it like each episode kind of goes meta on each movie.
When I saw it's not the most recent one. It's like fourth one or something. It had Jamie Kennedy and fucking Michael Gross.
Well, and
I was like, you know what? Maybe I should give this franchise a chance.
The first one, Tremors. Second one, Tremors, Back Perfection. The fourth one is a prequel in the Wild Wild West.
Okay,
fifth one is where Jamie Kennedy comes in, and then the sixth one just dropped on Netflix like a year ago.
Right, I saw it on. My son was trying to, because I let my son watch Tremors with me, and he was trying to get me to look. He was like, "Well, I want to watch the new one, the one that's on Netflix." I was like, "Not without me watching it first of all, but also like, no, you can't just go 1 to 5. You got to watch the whole franchise." Like,
Actually, it's funny that you said Wild Wild West. They the same guy that wrote Wild Wild West.
No, really?
Yep, I think he has a thing for deserts.
He wrote all those racist lines for Kenneth Branagh?
Even if he does... even so, I would say with Tremors, though, he kind of nailed a lot of the dialogue with the entire little town. And what was it, like 50 people on the sign?
Fuck you. I think the most terrifying aspect of this bullshit movie, I'm sorry, it's a fine movie, I like it. This fucking movie is that the population was 14. It was 14.
13.
That's
I love the idea that Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon are just like the town handyman, and they just like any job, two dudes can handle any job in the whole town.
Like I have more questions about the town than the fucking worms. Like, how do you get to that town? How do people get born in there? Do they?
That's probably
apparently there's only one road because it gets blocked and they can't get out.
No, it's a skit.
I always equated like the Tremors like series, almost on the same level as like the Leprechaun films and like Wishmaster. Like they're in that same camp where it's like that. Those first ones are pretty fun and good. I mean, Tremors like
I think Leprechaun 2 is better than the first Leprechaun. And hot take here. I don't know if that's a hot take.
That's a bit of a hot take, but you know what I mean though. Like it's in that same like you're buying.
Much like Child's Play, I gave up on Leprechaun when they stopped casting Warwick Davis. Fuck that. There's no Leprechaun movie without Warwick Davis. I don't see Hornswoggle.
No, if I buy the DVD, it's only coming in the 5-pack. Just sell me on the other 4 shitty ones, and I'm buying it for one fucking movie.
I'll sell you on the Tremors. I'll sell you on all the Tremors easily, but I'm saying Michael Gross, Burt Gummer is the consistent part of all of these movies.
Okay, now I have to ask, do they disrespect Reba? How does Reba leave the franchise?
No, so in the second one, basically,
she gets a sitcom.
Is she leaves him PTSD that she leaves him, and that's all they say.
Okay, I just want to make sure they didn't shit on her too bad because like
you are standing for Reba real hard today.
Why would you not?
Very white and old.
And redheaded.
Is this movie big on NRA houses and Doom preppers?
It has to.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you would think it definitely has to be for sure. This has to be like one of their faves.
This movie comes with a pack of Budweiser.
Take Shelter, right? They like Take Shelter.
I love Take Shelter.
Take Shelter's a good movie, but I bet Doomsday Preppers like it too.
I actually would argue the opposite of that. Oh wait, no, yeah, I get it.
Where did they go to buy all those weapons if it's a fucking 14 people town?
3 towns over.
I don't know. Why does anyone need that many weapons, no matter how big of a town you're in?
They're going to Bixby.
Because they're living in a 14 people. This is a horror movie. You're not. I hate people.
No, man, if a zombie outbreak breaks out of that town, you're not even going to need 2 clips.
You know where they live? Because you got to build that wall, guys.
Yeah,
that's why they need
they're in Nevada, right? Isn't this town in Nevada?
I feel like they're outnumbered, though.
They need all those weapons.
It's Perfection. It's called Perfection.
No,
we haven't talked much about the movie. Should we talk about the movie a little bit?
Yeah, I just like how before you go, I read that also Kevin Bacon did this movie, and he literally was apparently like pleading to his pregnant wife of like, "This is where I'm at my fucking career." Underground Worms. Like he just was like depressed.
One of Kevin Bacon's best movies, man.
But then like the movie like
a TV show, and they shot a pilot with Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, but
coming back,
TV show now.
They shot a TV pilot for Tremors, and then it just like died on the vine. Topical.
He was happy.
Guys, you see how I tied that back to our other topic?
He was happy, apparently, obviously after and shit like that, but it was like during it. And this movie found a life on. It was one of the few movies to make more than its budget back on home video.
Yeah, because it bombed in the theater.
They made $16 million.
I mean, I didn't see this in theaters. Did anyone see it in theaters? Brian, you're the most.
Nah, that old. I didn't see it.
I was still shitting in a diaper.
Yeah. No, it was 1990. Were you alive yet?
No, I was swimming in a nutsack then.
Okay, there you go. That's what I thought. But so what was your first introduction then, Joe? When did you see that?
Oh, I remember seeing this as a kid. It was renting it on I remember like being a Blockbuster rental and like thinking it was a bunch of fun.
And like my brother, like mine, who's like a little weirdo and he's into monsters and scary stuff, and he wants to. This is a nice starter movie.
Yeah, I have like
it's got a little language, it's got a little creepiness, a little violence. I do love the way in the early part of the movie they build up with like they find the guy up on the pole and who died of starvation, and then you got they find the guy whose face is down in his sheep farm, and then the guys out they Jaws, they slow build you, It's like a 90-minute version of Jaws.
I was gonna say literally went in and said Aliens is Jaws in space. Is like if Jaws was in New Mexico or Montana, just in the open, but he's underneath the sand, like it actually
the ocean is desert now, rocky desert. Now it's that's the ocean.
And it's better.
Because it has amazing shots. Hey,
it's Jaws, but tighter,
Yeah,
it has a stronger cast.
If they make this movie today, would they make Fred and Kevin a couple? I feel like they were a good couple.
I think that would be an awesome addition.
I think so.
Movie actually, I think if at the end the girl was like thought they had a little chemistry with Kevin Bacon, and then he was like, "Oh no, this is my dude. Fred Ward's my man." I'd be a super tight way.
It'd be like in Monster House.
So no one saw the second one, right?
No, like I said, no. I think I saw.
Talk about this one.
But I was saying,
you want to talk about the second one?
There's a whole scene where this guy shows up to Fred Ward, who plays Earl, Val's Kevin Bacon's partner, and he has a Graboid video game in the trailer, and he's playing it, and this guy's playing it. He's like, "Oh, this is what you got from like the whole thing." He's like, "Yeah." But Val took him and his girl, and he left for the L.A. and never came back. And like they have this whole like backstory how Val basically turned his back on Earl and took
the girl behind and shit,
and just left him behind. Took the girl. I was like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's Kevin Bacon all the way.
Yeah, but that's a very cliche. Also, actually, the world's ending. I just met this girl and we just fell in love during You're trying to survive. You're covered in pumpkins.
We've all seen Speed. We know that like the adrenaline makes you feel like you're in heaven. You want a hump or whatever. We know that.
Is that like the trauma brings people closer together until they realize they hate each other? Fucking like 6 months later, like yeah, there's no more worms attacking, so I gotta go.
The worms.
So it's like
forever.
I don't like the name. I don't like the name. Can we come up with a better name?
Then Graboids?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing. I think the idea is that the name is stupid. That's why the title of the movie, I always call them Tremors when I talk about them. I'll talk about them. And then I'll catch myself saying, I'll be like, oh, no, wait. It's like the Frankenstein's monster thing. I'm like, actually, the monster is Graboids.
Well, but Brian.
Tremors,
Brian, it's also probably like
Victor Wong.
Brian, I'm sure it's also like how you probably have idiots when talking about Alien. Or like, well, the Alien. And not referring to as Xenomorph.
Xenomorph.
That's a great name.
It is. That's a good name. Same with, if we want to talk Prometheus.
Because that whole series is created by a bunch of goddamn geniuses. That's why.
We didn't talk in news about Ridley Scott getting a third Alien.
Yeah, Disney's saying we might get the third Ridley Scott.
Brian's episode's next. He can fucking talk about it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but we've been a couple weeks.
You know why I think I like this movie a lot as a kid? What?
We should talk about somebody just like run through the plot in case nobody's seen Tremors who's listening and kind of.
Nobody listens to us to understand a movie.
Yusef, run through the plot and then tell us your favorite thing, what you liked about it.
I'm going to time you. You have 40 seconds.
The plot is 14 psychopaths that live in one small town get fucked by a bunch of big ass worms underneath the ground. The
Boom.
End.
And then what was your point about it?
I think I liked it I think I liked it as a kid a lot because one of the solutions to their problems is the game that we all play, which is the floor is lava, and they're all trying to not touch the floor. That sequence of them on poles, and they're clearly not them. It's so
some stunt people there.
I'm sure it's the same stunt person that Bacon used in Footloose.
Yeah. I would have loved to him just dance versus the web.
I feel like they're connected.
How about the little girls? That's Lex from Jurassic Park. So she had a tough life.
Okay.
She had this happen, and then she went right onto that Jurassic Park.
Also, she's in the third one, playing herself.
She's a rich grandpa.
Yeah.
The third one.
Nice. She comes.
That's like John Hammond flew her out there to help her get over the trauma of like what happened in the Tremors town, and then the kid breaks out at fucking Jurassic Park too. You're cursed, girl.
Yeah, I mean, she only did this. She did that. She did Angus. And then she went
she's
back
like the love interest in Angus, right?
Why does Angus sound familiar?
She reminds me of in Angus. She reminds me of Laura Dern in Mask.
Yes,
and it's like funny that they're in Jurassic Park together and they have a very similar vibe.
Correct. Angus Joe is the kid who's really good at football, and James Van Der Beek is the quarterback and keeps breaking his nose.
Oh, I only know that because you've mentioned it.
Yeah, I talk about it a lot. Just like usual movies from the 90s.
Angus is actually a good movie, guys. Don't let TJ's endorsement of it fool you. It's actually good.
Just because I mentioned a movie doesn't mean it's fucking bad. Tremors.
That is debatable at best.
Now, everyone's favorite scene from Tremors, starting with Yusef. Go.
Oh, when Kevin Bacon is pissing and scratching his ass.
Nice. Joe, go.
Oh, the first reveal of the Tremor with the fucking tentacles.
Oh,
it's the creature.
Also, like Jaws, they wait a while.
Yeah, the first reveal to me is my favorite.
Yeah, they trick you with that.
Who did did anyone do? I was going to ask, who did the creature design? Was it anyone of note? Or
I don't know. You're the IMDb guy. Get on that. Tell us who did it.
That could be
Stan Winston. We would know because we know the one.
I was going to say they literally used the entire practical effects up until the fourth one, and then after the fourth one, they go straight into
the practical effects in this movie look fucking great. I love the practical effects in this. Like with Joe's scene when he was talking about when that thing first comes out and he opens his mouth and then the tentacles slither out.
That's why I love it.
Such a cool effect. It's really well done.
So TJ,
and then when it breaks into Bert and Reba's basement, that's a great scene.
Amazing.
So TJ, I want to ask you a question though. Having talking about the effects, which is a really important part. The recent ones, are they just using shitty CGI?
Awful. It's really bad.
Okay, it is. Okay.
It's like a Sci-Fi Channel type of stuff.
That's what I figured. So the visual
surprise,
effects,
but that's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, no major house.
That's one thing again. Not that we always, I know we kiss the Child's Play franchise ass a lot, but they slipped into CGI in their first straight to DVD release, and I think they learned a lesson. And then the newest one, they dropped back into all practical.
Oh, you mean the remake?
No,
I'm fucking with it. No, I agree with you though, because that first, you know what? I'm not talking Child's Play.
Yeah,
I agree.
We can leave Child's Play alone.
Yeah, I'll agree. But that first new movie is really good, minus the CGI. That's all I would say.
Yeah, agree. But TJ, what was your favorite scene?
Oh man, I was gonna say I would probably say the lead up to the reveal of what the graboid is, because all those kills from the guy who gets dehydrated on top of the tower to old man Fred's barn with all the sheep,
I love when they pull the hat off the guy who's like completely buried. His face is looking straight up. That's a great. And we didn't talk about the lady who gets the whole car gets sucked down in the dirt. That's really cool. At that point, you haven't seen the full graboid yet, so you're like, how do those little snakes drag a whole fucking car under?
I think Kevin Bacon's reactions to everything. He's like, "What the hell is going on? What the hell is going on?" Type of thing. You're just like. That's the perfect because you know that Kevin Bacon probably is coming off of Footloose, coming off of maybe one other film he did.
Thinking I'm going to be the biggest star in the world. I just can't go on planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah. I just hooked up Bernie Madoff.
Jaws.
It's crazy to think that Kevin Bacon also.
In the first half of the movie, I have to say that my favorite shit is probably the second half where. You're getting a lot of like them devising ways to like trick the graboids and like divert them and direct them. Like the whole bit with like letting the little mower run out and the whole thing with the girl on the pogo stick.
Oh, the pogo stick scene's a phenomenal.
That's a great one. When the girl's up on the water tower and she kicks the pipe so that the water drips on the ground and that draws them over. Like all the little things they devise to keep it moving and keep it going.
Yeah,
like I said, this movie's 90 minutes is super tight.
The girl on the pogo stick scene is when I was watching it, I was just thinking though, like in like with today's brain of like, what little kid is you like today is like pogo sticking around?
There's like, she was pogo sticking for like a title. She was like counting. You know, she wanted to get the record.
Because that's what you did.
In 2019, people are pogo sticking, but in their homes, you know.
They're doing it with an app. They're like it's like a perfect finger
No, they're
motion.
pogo sticking, you know, sticking
jerking
things up their ass.
They're also I was gonna say they're doing one of those
woof.
Those where were those things people were riding for like one summer, those douchey fucking electronic like segways without the handles.
Hoverboard?
Oh, the fucking like hoverboards that don't hover, they just roll around on the ground.
Oh, yeah. Mike Tyson.
I only ever saw people eating shit on those. I never saw anyone riding it well. I just saw videos of people eating shit.
Yeah, because they're stupid.
Yusef, who's your favorite character in this movie?
Kevin Bacon when he's peeing and scratching his ass.
Tight.
Like,
tight.
Brian, who's your favorite character in this movie?
Oh, Chang, maybe?
It was Victor Wong.
But isn't his name Chang in the movie?
Oh, yeah, Walter Chang.
Yeah, his name's Chang in the movie. Yeah. And like I love the way he rips off Val and Fred Ward. He buys the thing for $15 and he's like selling pictures with it and shit. I love all that.
Melvin. No one's talked about Melvin yet. Oh, question.
Even my 8-year-old son was like, that kid sucks.
Is the guy who gets sucked down in the tire?
That's his dad, right? That's Melvin's dad.
Is that his dad?
Yeah, no room to mourn. No room to mourn.
Oh man, that's insane.
Melvin mourned for like 2 seconds. I do like the scene where they give him a gun and then he shows to shoot it, and of course it's not loaded.
It's like guys, it's like in like Star Wars. Like no one mourns the destruction of planets.
So guys, let's wrap it.
I'm fucking with you.
Yusef, what do you got? Rate it out of 13.9 stars.
13.9?
Yeah.
6.5 Kevin Bacon scratching his ass.
Jesus. Joe, what you got?
Wait, 13.9 is our scale?
Yeah.
So 9.6 pogo sticks.
Tight.
Mm-hmm.
Brian.
Joe's pogo sticking for sure.
Something like maybe 7 or 8 out of 10, but out of 13, you got to push it. So I'm probably with Joe somewhere in like the high 9 points.
Yeah, I was trying to give it, if you're doing the 10 scale, I was trying to give it like a C plus, B minus.
10, we're going to the 13.9 scale. Which I like. I'm not complaining about the 13.9 scale. I think it makes a lot of sense. And we
the seismology thing, I learned it from the girl in the video, in the movie.
In the video? What videos are you watching, man?
So yeah, I'd probably put it like the high 9 points out of 13 points.
I'm going to even everything up and give it a 10.1 and just
okay.
it out. You know what I mean? I think this is one of my favorite movies growing up, and I'm glad that I could pick this over a lot of other movies that were in my head. Other than SWAT.
I don't know what the fuck you pick SWAT. It's just
of all of the movies.
Yusef, this is better than SWAT, though, right? I mean, I know I feel like Yusef did that thing where like he liked this as a kid and he went back and watched it and he's mad that it sucked. Like, he doesn't want to talk about it very much.
Was it a glass half? Like Yusef, was it glass half full?
It's a streamer.
A glass half empty. It's a streamer.
It's a streamer.
Look, we can even this up right now. Brian, you got the next episode, buddy.
Oh, we're back to me already.
Oh shit!
Back to me already. Feels like a lifetime ago. It was before Pittsburgh.
I didn't even say this. This is 25. So you got episode 26, my man. So
we're coming up on our anniversary also.
Yeah.
Our 1 year anniversary. Who'd have thought we'd make it? Definitely
not you.
Not me.
Not me either. We have DMs of.
Yes, we all have seen my DMs. I've been watching, I don't know if we talked about streaming shows. We talked about shows that started on other networks and it got saved or whatever. I've been watching Schitt's Creek on Netflix. Nice. Really fun show. Kind of one of those ones that I watched and wasn't sure about. And then everybody was raving. So I went back and it definitely is as good as people said it is. Yuji Levy is a comedy icon. So is Catherine O'Hara. His son is a fucking genius on that show too. He's great. But somebody else who's on that show who I can't get enough of is motherfucking Chris Elliott. So I think that we need to revisit Cabin Boy for the next episode of Flyover State of Film.
What? Please repeat yourself.
Cabin Boy? Are you familiar with Cabin
I'm not
Boy?
Familiar. I'm not familiar.
You suck. Like you just did. You just did exactly what TJ did to you. You mentioned Yuji Levy. You mentioned Catherine O'Hara.
No, Waiting for Guffman. No, show.
And you guys also, if you follow me on Twitter, probably know that the fucking Christopher Guest movies are some of my favorites. Waiting for Guffman is probably a top 10 comedy for me. I love that movie.
I love Best in Show.
No. What I want to talk about is
Cabin Boy. I'm into it. I love Chris Elliott.
SNL, much like many SNL alums, he got a crack at a movie. And the crack at the movie he took was Cabin Boy, and I want to revisit it.
You didn't want to take him as
turning the flyover to a bunker, baby.
You didn't want to take him as the villain in Snow Day? No, Groundhog Day is the best friend.
He's good in Groundhog Day. And
he's in Snow Day too. He's the villain.
Some of the tip where he like tips big and lets the girl see him tip, and then he takes some of it back. That's his best bit in the whole movie.
I'm kidding. All right, Cabin Boy. I'm excited. I like Chris Elliott.
I'm excited to revisit it. I remember it being very weird, but I liked it, so I'm really happy to go. I'm really excited to go back because I think comedy is the most subjective genre. So it's one of those things where we could all come away with something very different from this one. So I'm excited to check it out. I don't know,
guys.
This is a good sign.
We're all gonna have to buy it.
Wait.
Oh yeah, it's right in there. It belongs right in there.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, I think it is the best of those three movies by far. So
what is that?
It belongs. You know what? It would be even better on a 3-pack with Night at the Roxbury and The Ladies' Man.
What's that 3-pack? Order it right now.
No, it's just Google Images.
Oh.
It's weird because it's not. I don't think it was a Lorne Michaels produced movie. I'll find out when I have the credits.
Let's leave that heat for the next episode.
But I'm really interested to get back to it. So I hope you guys.
That Blu-ray is gonna set you back. So
steal it.
It's obscure, right? It's supposed to be obscure.
Steal it offline. Brian, where can we find you, bud?
You know where to find me. I'm at Hershkillies on Twitter. You can also find the DVD Bunker floating out there. There's some episodes. I haven't made a new one in a while, but there's old ones. You'll probably find a movie you like or a movie you've never heard of. Check it out. And that's about it.
Yusef.
Why I love movies on Twitter. WhyILoveMovies.com, doing reviews that nobody reads.
We can't let Yusef get laid before the show anymore, guys. Way off his game. Women weaken legs. Women weaken legs.
Bye.
Joe, where can we find you?
You can find me on Shendango at the DVD Bunker, where we do episodes and we talk about the movies from my movie collection.
I like the idea that people might listen and think Matt is you in those older episodes. Like,
Joe, also, don't forget.
They're using his middle name or something, and they just think that's Joe.
Joe, what's your episode with Ryan and Tom?
Oh, that's a great idea. So I recently plugged Flyover and guested
before the feud.
Before the feud. On the Dunk and Zed show with our friends Tom Zambino and Ryan, Ohio Review. And we had a lot of fun. We discussed Midnight Special. It was mostly me talking for an hour about how I love Jeff Nichols and Midnight Special.
I mean, Brian doesn't let you talk here, so you got to go to another show.
Yeah. Fucking hardly.
So check it out.
Guys, I'm TJ at TJ Dex. You're on Flyover State of Film YouTube right now. If you are watching this, you can see us on Spotify, iTunes, or any type of thing you can get your podcast.
If you're listening to it, just whatever you're using to listen to it, find it on there again.
Yeah, and like and subscribe or don't.
Hey,
yes, subscribe. Maybe throw a couple likes if it's on a thing that you can review. Maybe give us a review. I don't know how it works.
Like, subscribe. You're not listening. Bye.
No. Bye.